I met Clara at a wedding, hers, not mine. She was the cousin of the bride, a little tipsy, radiant in a pale blue dress that clung to her like she'd been poured into it. I wasn't looking for anyone that night, but life, as it turns out, has a funny way of drawing people together when you least expect it. Fast forward 7 years, and we're married, with a mortgage, a dog named Jasper, and 2 matching toothbrushes in the bathroom that only ever seemed to touch on weekends. The trouble didn't start big. It wasn't some catastrophic fight or a dramatic reveal. It was slow, like water boiling in a pot. 1 degree at a time. A forgotten kiss goodbye. Her phone suddenly being upside down on the table. Her laughter becoming softer, almost reserved, like it had to be rationed. Clara had always been vibrant, the kind of person who made small talk with bartenders and waved at kids she didn't know. But lately, her brightness had dimmed around me, and I could feel her slipping, not to sadness, but to distance. It was a Wednesday morning when she told me she had to fly to Portland for a work seminar. Nothing unusual, she'd been taking more of those trips lately. She kissed my cheek distractedly and said the office had booked her a cab. She didn't want me to worry about the traffic or the drive back. I should have insisted on taking her, but she sounded so matter-of-fact. Like this wasn't a goodbye, just another midweek trip. So I let her go. She wore her travel outfit, a beige trench coat, black slacks, and that burgundy scarf she always tugged nervously when she was hiding something. I stood in the doorway and watched the cab pull up. A yellow Crown Victoria, engine rumbling like a smoker's cough. The driver stepped out, a middle-aged guy with graying temples and a confident gait. Not the type you'd expect her to even notice. She gave him a small, polite smile, slid into the back seat, and didn't look back. I went about my day, coffee, emails, a pointless Zoom meeting, but something gnawed at me. The cab company texted her arrival time at the airport, but there was no follow-up from Clara. No boarding now, no love you. Just silence. When she finally called later that night, her voice was low, breathy, almost tired. Said the flight was fine, the hotel was decent, and she'd be busy all day tomorrow. She mumbled a good night and hung up. I don't know what made me do it. Maybe it was instinct. Maybe it was the way she said love you like it was a line from a script she'd memorized in a different life. I checked our shared phone account. The ride to the airport was 45 minutes. Her call log showed a 27-minute call made during that exact time frame, not to me, not to work. A new number. I ran the number through a reverse lookup service. It was a prepaid phone, nothing listed. I couldn't sleep that night. I lay there, eyes wide in the dark, retracing our last months. The unexplained absences. Her new obsession with exfoliating wipes and perfume samples. The way she lingered in the shower just a bit longer. On Friday morning, I called the cab company pretending to be her assistant. Asked if I could get the driver's name for reimbursement. They gave me his name, Diego Alvarez. I found him on social media in 10 minutes flat. His profile wasn't private. The latest post was a blurry photo of a hand resting on a dashboard. A woman's hand, unmistakably. Her wedding ring was turned inward. My stomach twisted. Saturday morning, Clara came home. She looked fresh-faced, like the trip had revived her. She hugged me a little too tight, as if overcompensating. I asked how the seminar went, and she gave me details. Too many, like she'd memorized a script. But there were cracks. She said she stayed at the Hilton, but her expense report later showed a charge from the Red Lantern Inn, a smaller, older hotel near the airport. I didn't confront her. Not yet. I wasn't sure I wanted to know. But that night, as she lay beside me, I couldn't help but feel like I was sleeping next to a stranger wearing my wife's skin. A week passed. I went through the motions, smiling, cooking, pretending like I didn't know my wife had left a part of herself in the back seat of a taxicab. Clara was better at pretending than I was. She started doing this thing where she touched my arm mid-sentence, like she was trying to reattach herself. She asked about my day more. Laughed louder than necessary. But it all felt like noise. Chatter to fill the silence between us. I'd spent those 7 days digging, not for revenge, but for truth. The cabbie, Diego Alvarez, had an Instagram page full of vague selfies, landscapes, and captions that read like diary entries from someone who thought the world owed him something. On Tuesday, he posted a story, just a blurry motel room mirror, his shirtless torso, and a woman's purse on the dresser. I knew that purse. It was navy leather, gold zip, with a frayed little tag that Clara had meant to snip off for months. I screenshotted it, saved it, then sat in the dark, holding my phone like it was a grenade. That Friday, Clara said she had to go out of town again, just overnight. Some last-minute offsite for the client. I offered to drive her this time. She smiled and said it'd be better if I didn't. The traffic, she said. And you've been tired lately. I insisted. She hesitated just a beat too long. Eventually, she said okay. We left early the next morning. She barely touched her coffee. The silence between us grew heavier the closer we got to the airport. As we pulled into the departure lane, she leaned over and kissed my cheek. I'll call you when I land, she said, already unbuckling. Clara, I said, watching her hand on the door handle. I know about him. She froze. I didn't raise my voice. Didn't beg. Just looked at her. You think I didn't notice? That you didn't come home smelling like cheap cologne and motel soap? You used to look at me. Really look. Now your eyes slide past me like I'm a chair. She opened her mouth, then closed it. He's a taxi driver, Clara. Her jaw clenched. His name is Diego. Oh, I know, I said. I've seen the pictures. The room. The way he talks about you without ever saying your name. I didn't even have to hire anyone. You two left a trail like kids in a fairy tale. Breadcrumbs made of bad lies and worse judgment. Her face crumpled, then hardened. It was just supposed to be a ride. He made me feel noticed. That hit harder than I expected. He made me feel like someone again, she said, voice cracking. You've been so far away, and I didn't know how to reach you. You didn't try, I replied. She looked down. I know. A minute passed. What now? She asked, voice barely above a whisper. I shrugged. That's the thing about crossroads. You get to choose. But you already did, didn't you? Back in that cab. When you crossed a line you didn't want to come back from. She looked like she might cry, but didn't. I'm not going to fight you on this, I said, turning off the engine. I've already packed a bag. You'll come home to silence and a note. You don't owe me an explanation. Just don't lie to yourself about why you did it. She nodded, barely. Then she opened the door, stepped out, and didn't look back. The drive home was long and quiet. I didn't cry. I didn't rage. I just breathed. She didn't call when she landed. I didn't expect her to. Sometimes, the person you think you know disappears in the rearview mirror, and the only thing left is the echo of tires on a road you never meant to take alone. But even in that echo, there's a strange kind of peace. Because now I know. And knowing, as it turns out, sets you free.